This is going to be another session on the inverted pyramids. And I started, as I said, using inverted pyramids probably 40 years ago or more. And I really got the idea from the abracadabra. I had never seen anybody else but me try to use a system like this. But I really found that it paints a big picture of a time period, and it could even be a day. I use it every day in 6 hour increments, but it could be used for any period of time, a day, a week, a month, a year, or a lifetime if you do the abracadabra on somebody's name. But it's a very interesting point, and when you add the fact that you can figure out who are the major players or the people that change somebody's life or are involved in somebody's life in this period, it's an amazing thing. And sometimes it's not very apparent at the time, but it becomes apparent and it reveals itself over a period of time. But this is what we're going to do. Now, if you took somebody with the birthday 1019, 1957, we're not going to look at the 1957 at all for these purposes. We're going to look at October 9th, and we're going to add it up, and it's a 19. It adds up to a 19. And if you take the year 2017, you go 2 plus 1 plus 7 equals 10, and it's a 1 year. So the person with the October 19th, and if you added a 1 to it, you get a 20. They're in a 22 years, so to speak, okay? And when you take the year 20, it comes to a 2, which is a moon year. They would be affected by people born on the 2nd, 11th, 20th, or 29th of any month, any one of our 12 months. They would be affected by July or Cancer people, which is the first house of water, as well as February or Aquarius people, and people with a B, K, or T as any one of their initials. Now, B is the second letter of our alphabet. The K is the 11th, which is a 2 or so, and the T is the 20th letter of our alphabet. And oddly enough, we're in a 22 year. Now, so we've come to the 22, and we put it into an inverted triangle, and we add 2 and 2, and 2 and 2 is 4, and that becomes the apex of the year. Between January and March, which is the first quarter of the year, it has to do with separations and mistakes, as the 22nd letter of, the 22nd card of the tarot shows the Fool. And the Fool is somebody that makes a lot of mistakes, and they realize it, but there's nothing that they can do. It's also a period that they can deal with foreign or different types of people than they usually do. Different, sometimes it's, financial, people of different financial situations than themselves, of different ethnicities, of different cultures, whatever. It's a period of dealing with different types of people. And the 20th card of the tarot is the awakening. That means future plans that involve either waiting or patience. And it's plans for the future, things to occur in the future. And there could possibly be something about two different partners or two different females, depending on the person's whatever emotional preference they have, or whether it's a male or a female or whatever. Then between April through June, which is the second quarter of a year, you're dealing with the 24, which is the assistance and association of well-known or important people, which I wrote down here. also, there's a tendency to see or hear from people from one's past life. You know, the people who were in their past, and it's a time that people would benefit or help them. And then you hit this apex of the year, which is usually about late June, which divides the year right in the middle. And it gives them some kind of a choice, 0-4. There's a lot of choices or decisions. And from that point on, between July, actually, or the end of June or July through September, there's a question of who they want to be with or who they want to continue with. There's a big question of personal associations. And again, between October through December, they're dealing with what they've dealt with at the beginning of the year, which is January through March, about mistakes and partnerships and what they really want, and that there's nothing they can do about some things. Now, when somebody's in the 2 cycle, which is the moon cycle, they are also associating with people born under the aspects of Neptune, which is the 7th, 16th, or 25th of any month. Now, also, you could say G or P, which G is the 7th letter of the alphabet, and P is the 16th letter. So one of those initials may come into play somewhere along the line. But this is an interesting system. I call it the inverted pyramid, and it's very predictive, but it's extremely accurate. It's a system I've used for years. I made this system work for me. And I used to have it on my desk as I did a reading for people, and these were total strangers, people I've never met before. I would write it down, and I would come back and do the same area 2 years later, and I would look at the person running the psychic show or psychic fair, and I'd say, we'd have a busy day today. And they said, well, we have 10 psychics out here, 15, and they're all waiting for you.